Hello, welcome back to another episode of the Armchair Pundits World Cup special. Today we've got Bevan, James and myself. Gents, we're going to round up a few games from round 2 that we haven't covered yet. And Ronaldo scoring in his 6th World Cup. We'll also talk about England, who played out a 0-0 draw against Ghana. So we'll go straight into it. First of all, England versus Ghana. Clash of cultures, a clash of 2 different playing styles. And you'd have to say Ghana did what they came to do, which was to get a draw and basically avoid defeat. But they may feel a little bit unlucky to not get the 3 points. What was your take on the game?
Yeah, I went on holiday, bro, because they should have had a penalty. Definitely should have had a penalty, because I don't know what my guy was doing. He
Konsa.
just flew in. Konsa.
Bro, he left the ground.
Yeah,
he
bro.
left the ground.
Did not touch that football whatsoever.
Did VAR check it?
It didn't seem like it. They check everything. That's what they say, but it didn't seem like it.
I don't think so. Well, didn't Queiroz say they went on a coffee break or something in his post-match?
Did he touch the player?
Yeah.
Yes.
His knee. His left knee. He left knee clean.
I'm trying to figure it out. Because I know he left the ground. I know the ball went out of play. And I'm still... I don't even know what the commentator said about it, because sometimes I watch it in silence because I don't want to hear them talk absolute nonsense, especially when England are going to play, because you're not going to get commentary. You're just going to get it's like a fan cam and fans are going to be talking about the game. But...
Nah, everyone was in agreement, bro. Everyone. Post-match, the commentators, the analysis, England were fortunate there, 100%. Konsa was lucky that obviously he didn't see the pen, but that should have been a card, because he was in an uncontrollable situation. And for him to even have gone for a tackle like that in the box is actually crazy, because he doesn't normally defend in that way. So it was uncharacteristic. But I feel like it was a reflection of how Ghana had inserted themselves. They've been physical. They defended really, really well. And they've actually been a problem on the counter-attack for England. I think England were concerned about them. So credit where credit's due. Ghana deserved the point and probably could have got something more. England had a lot of possession. They've had shots on goal, but you didn't really feel like, you would say that the performance deserved 3 points.
They didn't get a shot on target. England didn't have a shot on target until the second half. Which is... Yeah, because
I think it's the first game of the World Cup. Yeah, I think it's the first game of the World Cup when neither team had a shot on target.
Yeah,
in the first half.
Yeah, well, Ghana set up to be difficult to break down, which they were, and England just didn't have the answers, and it was too slow. If a team's going to play like that, then you got to be quicker when you're trying to if you're going to use the wings. The midfield couldn't get involved. When I say midfield, I meant Bellingham couldn't really get involved in the game. He had zero space. I don't mean that as a slight, because obviously like Anderson and Rice were on the ball, but nothing really happened in advanced positions, and there was nothing for Bellingham to do. It just looked like they just ran out of space. And when they were trying to whip balls into the box, that was just food and drink. It was way too easy. So gotta say fair play to Ghana for defending the way that they did, and then trying to catch England under the break, which nearly worked in their favour.
I think they started with the wrong midfield. I think if you are playing a team that's going to sit back like that, you have to have people that can manipulate the ball, people that are comfortable in tight situations. And Eze, because you don't have Palmer or Foden in the squad, they didn't have good seasons, so fair enough. But if you don't have those guys, then you can't have guys that just run. They had 3 runners. Realistically, there are people that run beyond or people that run with the ball. There was no one that gets their heads up and tries an intricate pass that opens up anything. So, or someone that's, last 2 seasons, more goals from outside the box than any other Premier League player. That's the perfect opportunity to have that kind of person in your team. And it's no surprise that England looked better. Not great, but looked better when he came on in the second half, because there was a bit more intricacy in their movements and in their passing. And obviously, when they switched it to having 2 left-footed people out left, it opened the pitch up more. Because as good as Jed Spence is as a 1v1 defender, you had a right-footed right-back and a right-footed left winger. So everything kept funneling in, and Tuchel was going mad. He was going mad at both of them because they both were coming in. So
yeah,
it wasn't the right thing. And Bellingham was right. He got given man of the match, and I give him credit. He was like, I don't know why I've been given this, because it definitely should have gone to one of the Ghanaian defenders, and it should have. How does Bellingham get man of the match from that game? Sorry, he may have played okay, but the defensive display from the Ghanaians was match winning worthy. Maybe not what match winning, man of the match worthy, I should say.
For sure. I mean, what England did say that they didn't expect Ghana to play such a low block, but like you saw how Ghana were against Panama. They've struggled to get wins in the whole build up to the World Cup. They managed to scrape a victory against Panama when they probably didn't deserve it, but it's almost like they reserved the performance for this game. They were really up for this game. They obviously are familiar with a lot of the England players, and, you know, they matched them from a physical standpoint. A lot of these Ghanaian players playing in Europe, playing in the Premier League as well. So for England to have thought that this was going to be an easy game, I don't think the players did, but maybe fans and media expected it to be so. But I don't really feel like I think the players knew it was going to be tough. They knew physically that they were going to be a tough matchup. And Ghana done their homework. And Carlos Queiroz is known for being very good at organising defences. His teams don't ever seem to be very expansive or play very exciting football, but he's never been known for that. So they knew he was going to be organised, and they brought that to the table. So fair play to them. And now looks like they're going to qualify for the next round. So regardless of what happens in their final game against Croatia. So,
well, again, last point on it, it was nothing new. England often, I should say, not always, but it's the fourth tournament in a row where they've not won their second game. Mm-hmm. They win the first game normally, and then they don't win the second one.
It's usually a draw. I think it's they've drawn the second game in 4 tournaments in a row, as you said. So yeah, it's normal service, and obviously going into the final game against Panama, they'll be expected to win, which will secure a top spot for them. So we will see.
Panama ain't going to be easy though. It's going to be difficult. It's still going to be a
very difficult. A lot more difficult than they had. I think they played them in 2018 and they won like 5-1 or 5-0 or something like that. I don't think it's going to be that kind of game this time. Panama are a different outfit. They're a lot more organised. They've got a lot more, I would say, guile going forward. So I think they're going to give England a tough game. They're going to be physical as well. So England are going to have to be careful that they don't take them too lightly, because I'm sure they'll want to top the group rather than having to go in second or third place. So we will see. All right, on to Mr. Record Breaker, CR7, 6th World Cup, 6 goals. Well, scored 6 in all 6 of his appearances at the World Cup now. And you could say he silenced the critics. He's, referenced it in his celebrations, referenced it in his post-match. There's been a lot of talk about his contribution to the team or lack thereof. But one thing we know, if you get the ball in the box and Ronaldo's in the box, you're likely to get goals. And that's exactly what Portugal did this time. So Portugal, obviously winning 5-0 against Uzbekistan. What did you make of the performance of Portugal in general and Ronaldo's contribution?
Well done to Ronaldo.
Don't sound so yo.
Sorry, I know it's supposed to be a neutral. I don't know why, but I just maybe because like Ronaldo fans remind me of Drake fans. Like as soon as this guy turns up, he's the best thing ever, the best footballer ever. He's better than Messi. You know what? Fair play. He's like his record speaks for itself. Uzbekistan did try hard, but that's what they did. They tried hard. Maybe things could have been interesting if the goal they scored wasn't a foul in the build-up.
Beautiful goal.
Great goal. But I think everyone expected Portugal to beat Uzbekistan. And I think they wanted to make a statement after their first game. Yeah. They won. Ronaldo's breaking records. 6 World Cups. To play in 6 World Cups alone is fantastic, let alone to score in 6. So you do have to take my hat off to him. I mean, yeah, I don't know if I'm a Ronaldo hater, but yeah, okay, well done. You celebrated. You gave away a free kick you gave a free kick to your teammate. You celebrated with your team again. You're showing everybody that I'm a team player. I'm here for the team.
Not fake at all. As Roy Keane says, he did his job. He did his job. Yeah, you're there. You're Ronaldo. You're there to break records. He's broken another record. He's the oldest player to score a double in the World Cup. So that probably live on for a very, very long time. And he said, "I'm back." Was he really gone? Not really. For me, he can say he's back once he gets into the group stages, once he gets out of group stages. Because Ronaldo's done this. Most of his now 10 goals, I think all but one of his 10 goals have come in group stages. When the knockouts come is when he hasn't been the Ronaldo that we've seen in club football, which is why you can sometimes call him like the club football specialist.
Wow.
Wow. Nah, man, we can't deny Ronaldo's credentials. 41 years old. It's 2 goals, history made. It's his sixth World Cup, and he keeps on scoring. Obviously, yes, there's been a lot of critics, and you can criticize the lack of involvement in the general play of the team, but as we said, we know what he's about, and it's just a different way. He operates differently to Messi. They're 2 different type of players. Argentina play to enable Messi, whereas Portugal have to do everything in order to supply Ronaldo with chances to score, and that's the way he's going to score now. Obviously, against tougher opposition, as we've seen in their previous match, it's difficult. They played DR Congo, and Ronaldo didn't really get a sniff. So when they come up against more difficult opposition, no disrespect to Uzbekistan, but they've lost 5-0, and they never really looked like troubling Portugal, as you said, apart from the goal that got disallowed for VAR, an absolute screamer from Ganiev, but unlucky for the foul in the build-up. But no, Ronaldo is a physical anomaly. Like, honestly, like, for him to be doing this at this age is crazy. And I'll be honest, I wouldn't even be surprised if he tried to play till 45 when the next World Cup is going to be in Spain, Portugal, and Morocco. It wouldn't even surprise me, man. Honestly,
that wouldn't surprise me at all.
No,
that wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah, but surely Portugal got to have moved on by then. That if he's going to come back to another World Cup, he's got to come off the bench. He can't be starting.
Yeah, he won't be starting.
No.
He won't be starting.
I don't think so either. Even his ego won't be that big to be expecting to play.
Unless they somehow make him play a manager.
Might be the only person that can do that job, considering
stranger things have happened.
Yeah, you never know. But no, credit where credit's due. Portugal got the win they needed. Ronaldo got the goals he would have wanted to join the superstar lineup for the tournament. So I guess onwards and upwards for Portugal. In the other match in that group, Colombia won 1-0 against DR Congo. Colombia looking really good, as we said, and it's going to be a tough game for Portugal. I mean, they don't want to finish second in the group, and it's possible they still could. They could even finish third if DR Congo managed to pull out something out of the game against Uzbekistan. We know that Congo, don't concede a lot of goals, but they also don't score many either. Colombia beat DR Congo 1-0. Colombia looking good. My choice for dark horses. Mm-hmm. What did you guys make of Colombia's performance? And they topped the group, so it'll be tough for Portugal to secure top spot in that final game. But what have you made of Colombia's performance so far?
I think they've been pretty good so far. I think in that game they had a number of chances that were goals that were disallowed, mm-hmm. and some of them were by like the finest of margins.
Yeah.
Diaz's disallowed goal was that? Yeah, with Diaz's disallowed goal,
and the other one was for a foul in the build-up, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was there a foul in the build-up?
Apparently.
Was that
like it?
That a foul? Because to me that looked a bit soft.
It was soft.
It's very soft.
For VAR to overturn it, it would definitely soft.
Come on, man. And with the finish as well. And I don't know they are lacking a striker, but with Muñoz is like he's playing as a striker anyway, because I don't know how he's making those runs.
I think, they're playing, it's the system they play, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's able to bomb forward. And because they've got, Diaz and I think it's Arias who make that dart and run, he's able to run on the overlap. And yeah, he's causing real problems. They've got a lot of quality in defense and midfield. And you just feel like if they had a bagsman up top, there'd be a real problem. But they're going to be tough. They're going to be tough to beat. And we've said that, in previous games, that we know that they're solid, and it's going to be about how they deal with playing against some of the tougher opposition and how they get on. So tough.
It's a shame. What's the one that was at Fulham? Aston Villa. I forget his name now. The striker.
Oh, the one that went. That's in Germany.
Went to Saudi Arabia.
John Duran.
That's it, Duran.
Yeah,
it's a shame because he looked like he could be the answer. Like if he just got a bit of maturity in him. But he's fallen off the rails completely. And what we saw from him at Villa is what they need now.
Mm-hmm.
They need that person that can hold up the ball. They need a person that can bang it. They need someone that can bully defenders. And they just don't have it. They don't have it. And they can get far, but they can't win it. I don't think. They can't win it.
They want to hope they don't come
Diaz
up against Brazil.
Crazy.
They don't hope they don't come up against Brazil, because Brazil are always their Achilles heel whenever they play them in the World Cup tournament.
Yeah, even after trying to break Neymar's back.
Yeah.
Crazy work.
But I mean, like I said, I think it's all been said about them in attack, and I mean Diaz is quality. It's just the fact that they have a lack of a striker that might be their downfall.
Cool,
but they have looked good. They have looked good so far.
They have indeed.
Do you reckon they'll beat Portugal?
No, I'm thinking a draw.
I think they can beat them.
I think they'll draw that game.
It's probably more likely.
Portugal are pretty good in defense, and both teams are good in defense, and that's the one thing I feel like they will cancel each other out because of that. It's just that lacking that striker up front that's just making me feel like that's going to be their Achilles heel in this tournament. So we will see. Well, DR Congo have been unlucky. Obviously, they had chances to win against Portugal, and in this game they'll have to. Well, after losing this game, they'll have to beat Uzbekistan to have any chance of qualifying. They'll need to score a few goals to make sure they put themselves in the best position for that third spot, because they'll be on 4 points. And as Bevan said, he thinks that a team could go through on 2 points. I'm not so sure anymore, looking at the results that have happened in the last few days, but you never know.
It's looking unlikely. It's looking unlikely. I'll just leave it there.
We'll leave it there.
Yeah, I can't see it. I can't see it. They're taking out both of our countries on the way here. So.
Let's not talk about that. Let's not talk about that. Well, on to the group of Bagsman, Mbappe, Shoeman. Bagsman is in Mbappe and Haaland, bro. That group.
Yeah.
And you forgot Jackson. He's in that group too, isn't it?
I mean,
he is.
Yeah.
But he's not a Bagsman.
As you said, he's a training ground Bagsman. He's a training ground Bagsman.
Definitely a streaky Bagsman. But no, the genuine certified Bagsman of Mbappe and Haaland. France beating Iraq 3-0. A rain hit or thunderstorm hit and rain delayed match. And Norway beating Senegal in a pretty good game, 3-2 against Senegal. Senegal again. Oh man.
Disappointing.
Let's come back to them in a minute.
Oh,
yeah.
Let's come back to them in a minute. France, so pretty much looking certified in this tournament now with that win against Iraq. Obviously, Iraq probably the weakest team in that group. I think it goes without saying, struggled, but the rain delay kind of halted things. France obviously were 1-0 up before it. There was a 2 hours and 15-minute delay for them to clear the pitch. with a squeegee. And obviously the
Even
fans had
Ronaldo
to
was up.
take shelter because there's literally no cover in that stadium whatsoever. I think it's in Philadelphia.
Mbappe
So,
was helping, I saw.
say again?
Mbappe was helping, telling them where the wet spots were.
Yeah, because he's
so-
not trying to drop and injure himself. No way.
I know, it's funny.
But no, Mbappe and Elise starring again for France. What did you make of the performance? And do you think France have certified their status as one of the tournament favourites with this performance? Or is it too easy to say that against a team like Iraq?
I think it's too easy to say against a team like Iraq, but you do know that they got a lot of quality. They can rest players. Too many doesn't play. They bring in Kone. They play Luka Digne. They have the ability to do that, and against Iraq they can. And their quality was always going to show out in the end. And I think that's what it is. It's difficult to read too much into those kind of games. It'd be interesting to see when they have to play against Norway. But I still think they're going to have too. I feel they have too much for Norway in defense and in midfield and in attack. I think like Norway have, if Senegal cause France problems against Norway. Against Norway, I feel like they took more of their chances than they did against France, but they didn't. They're still missing something in attack. If it's France playing against you, you can't afford to have any slip ups, or it's going to be a long day.
I hear you. I mean, the one thing we know about Haaland, and we talked about Stoloff already, is that physically they're very dominant, but they're going to be up against Saliba and Upamecano. Them man there are not about to get bodied. And they know how to defend against Haaland. Stoloff not as much, but you wouldn't say Stoloff is as much as a threat as Haaland is. So realistically, it's going to be about how they prevent a supply into those two, because we know that they heavily rely on Odegaard, Stoloff and Haaland for everything they do going forward.
Nusa, hey, don't discount Nusa, bro. Nusa has played well in both games.
He has to be fair.
Nusa's done very well.
Very well. But I mean, the Haaland goal that he scores, right? The assist that he gets from Odegaard, great through ball, tidy finish. Does Odegaard get that same time and space in with a midfield where you've got like Rabiot and Tchouaméni in it? I'm not too sure that happens.
It just depends on what version of Rabiot and Tchouaméni and tactical plan Deschamps tries to apply, because we saw when France played Senegal that them two midfield wasn't exactly the best combination. I mean, you can, from a balance perspective, but whatever Deschamps' tactical plan, it didn't work in the first half. So
yeah, I don't think you see that version of them in the first half because he changed it. I don't think he'd play that again. And yeah, and as well, like the first goal that Norway score is from a complete defensive error.
Yeah,
you can't make those kind of mistakes at this level and expect not to get punished.
How's a goalkeeper not watching the ball? How are you passing to somebody, even if you roll it with your hand? How are you not looking at the ball?
And
that was schoolboy.
In the same breath, though, there's the same error that happens in the France-Iraq game as well.
Oh, sorry, that's the France game I'm talking about. My bad. Oh, that's the France one. I'm talking about the France one. I'm talking about the Iraqi goalkeeper where he's not looking. Yeah. Sorry, that was wrong game. That was schoolboy.
It's Koulibaly, wasn't it? You made a mistake.
Yes, that's the mistake you're talking about. Yeah. For both as well. He slides and misses for one of the goals. Well, Koulibaly. I think the problem they've got is they've got good young defenders, but they're hanging on to Lasse Koulibaly because he's captain. And it was probably one last hurrah. You got us to the World Cup. You're the captain. You can play through, and he probably shouldn't be. Younger, more alert centre backs should probably be playing the game, and they're not going to take him out. He's a captain, unfortunately. So they're probably going to die on that hill, and it's annoying for me because I had them as dark horses, but I'm not sure if they're going to be that.
I got them in the sweepstakes.
Look, they can still qualify. They'll need to get quite a few goals against Iraq, and Ismaila Sarr needs to bring the form that he had for Crystal Palace to that final game. He did score 2. I mean, you would say that the last one was more consolation. At that point, the game was well and truly over. But yeah, they have to turn up from the start.
It's
And
needed though for the goal difference. They needed it.
They did.
I want to see more of Mbappé though. Mbappé he scored against France. He's a real talent, and unfortunately, because he plays the same position as him, as Sarr, it's hard for him to get him on the pitch.
Well, Iraq is their opportunity to secure that third spot. Whoever does finish third, they're gonna have a tough draw in the next round. But you just want to be there, and Senegal would have expected to qualify from this group, regardless of the fact that they have France and Norway. They would have felt that they could have got something out of both of those games, and they don't have anything to show for it. So they really do need to get that win. So we will see. We will see. Group J, the last game of that group was Algeria-Jordan. We won't talk too much about the actual game, but big win for Algeria. They obviously needed that win to give themselves a chance of qualifying, and Argentina will obviously be playing Jordan in their final game. Austria will need to play Algeria. So I think that will be a pretty interesting game, because I think, if history serves me right, in 1982 there was a match between Austria and Germany where they contrived to get a draw to ensure Algeria didn't qualify. So I don't know. Obviously, there ain't going to be pretty much any Algerian players that were born in 1982. But obviously, from a historical perspective, I'm sure they would have been reminded of the fact that this had occurred back then. And it is a little bit of a grudge match in a way, both teams vying for that second place. So we will see if Algeria manage to get some revenge over Austria, or if Austria are too strong for them. I'd imagine Austria being Austria, they'll manage to pull it out, but you never know with Algeria. When they're on their game and they turn up, and they still got the likes of Mahrez still hanging in there, doing his thing. But
he's going to need to turn up. He's going to have to roll back the years in this game.
Yeah.
For sure.
They're going to stand a chance to get through. He's going to have to.
For sure. Before we go, one more touch point. Bellingham covering his mouth. We've seen it already in this tournament with Almiron getting sent off for Paraguay for covering his mouth and saying something which we don't know was hostile, but the situation appeared to be hostile between the two teams. The one with Bellingham, you could argue it didn't seem hostile. What was your take on the fact that he didn't receive any punishment, which will be good for England, obviously, in Bellingham, but hypocrisy anywhere?
I think it's because Ayew doesn't make a big deal of it. If Ayew makes a big deal of it, then there's potential for it to be like that. But because when I look at the Almiron situation, I looked at it and I was thinking, he was nowhere near the fracas or the brouhaha or the fight or whatever.
He was near.
He wasn't involved.
He wasn't in the middle of it. He wasn't in the midst of it. He was on the outskirts.
The thing is, I don't even know if the guy, whatever Almiron said, we don't know that the guy ever understood what he said. He might have just thought, he's covering his mouth. Getting this guy, I'm ratting him out now so we can have an advantage. And it didn't work because Paraguay still won. But arguably, you could say that he's got sent off just because he's covered his mouth. Even he might have even said, this is foolishness. I don't know why they're beefing. But
I think the difference is, one, because when they say confrontational, that whole situation was confrontational, whereas the Bellingham and Ayew was completely different. You can see they were actually just talking to each other, and they hugged at the end of it. So if there was no hug, no embrace at the end of it, then it could have been different. And you're right, Bevan. If let me say, said something, then it could have been a bit sticky. So yes, the other guy did him dirty, Almiron. He did do him dirty. But Bellingham he does need to be careful, because before that, I can't remember if that was earlier on or late before the half-time. Because at half-time, he got in a fracas with the players as they're walking off. So they could have decided to be a bit nasty. When he did that, he said whatever, and then whatever comes of it, comes of it. So they still have to be careful. But I think the correct decision was made on that one, looking at the situation as it is. But I think Amram was done dirty.
Yeah, I think we got to remember why this new rule has been brought into play and what it's supposed to do. But I think it is there to be abused. There's a lot of times where players cover their mouth when they're talking to other players who are their friends or whatever else, and it's very rare that you will have a player cover his mouth if he's going to call someone. If he's going to call someone a name, he's going to say it. He's going to say a name, and like we see in the Prem all the time when players are talking to their friends after games where they're covering their mouth saying stuff to each other that they don't want the cameras to necessarily see and notice. I doubt it's going to happen maybe not in the Prem so much, but maybe it will happen more outside of the Prem, that kind of situation where that happened. But if we're really honest, it's been few and far between where we've seen a player say something to another player and he's covered his mouth to say it. So it's a bit strange how they brought this rule into play, and especially when they say that because of like trying to stamp out racism or whatever. So it's a bit strange to me.
I don't think we're going to see much of it again. And I think they asked Dan Burn, and Dan Burn was like, "Listen, I know Miggy. That's how he talks to people. So I don't know if he was being aggressive to him or whatever, but it's something that he's got to get out of his game, because when he talks to people on the pitch, he covers his mouth naturally. So players are now going to have to untrain themselves when they're talking to people, that people are probably going to try and stitch you up in certain situations. So you can't put your hand over your mouth, which is a bit awkward, but it's not hard. I know the people have been doing it for years, but it can't be that hard just to not do it. Just have to engage your brain. Okay, there's a bit of heat in this atmosphere right now. I can't put my hand to my mouth. As simple as that. That's the way I see it.
Or you can't share your opinion, innit? Because if he's thinking, if you're gonna come in your mouth, like, look at this idiot, like, what's he doing? Then you don't want your lips to be read to say that you're calling your teammate an idiot. So you're gonna have to just not say stuff.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
That's the other side of it. Just don't say anything, innit? Just keep your opinions to yourself.
But listen, he's potentially lucky that Ayew isn't a type of player to get someone sent off for what could have been nothing.
Well, that's it for our brief roundup of the final games from round 2 of the World Cup. Please don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and leave some comments. Let me know, or let us know, I should say, what you will take on some of the key moments from the World Cup are so far. Let us know what you think of the Konsa lack of a penalty shout, what you make of Ronaldo bouncing back, getting another record for the history books, and whether who you think will win out of the Mbappé versus Haaland showdown. So all to play for in round 3. A lot of games still to go, and still a lot of different permutations for who's going to end up in that third spot. So stay tuned, keep watching, and till the next time, take care.
Peace.